So I just had a game with Thebausffs playing Rammus, and yeah, basically enemy team invades level 1, and he dies, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I try and get the red buff back, but I can't. Then he sees the Kha'Zix here from the ward that he put himself, so he know that the Kha'Zix is now on top side, and look how he decides to play.
I'm incredibly dead here. He hit level 2. I can't real.
And then
Holy.
here, Kha'Zix is top again. And the reason why we know that is because here I'm on his red buff, right? We put a ward onto his Crux. So we know that he's not really on bot side because I took his red buff, so he's not there. There's a ward on his Crux and he's not there. So he can only be on Raptors. So most likely he's on top side, and most likely he's actually going for the top scuttle here. And then he dies again, giving Kha'Zix another kill. And then here he just dies by himself. The Jax then decides to freeze. Rammus breaks the freeze, and here he can just run, right? Like he crashed the wave, he doesn't have to stay here.
You're the wave, buddy.
But then he decides to run past the tower and then say kill me or the wave, right? But realistically speaking, Jax loses not really that much, right? So then he dies again. Then he types, yo, any help? As if we decided to go and help him on top lane, that it would actually make a difference. Now that he's 0 and 5, it wouldn't make any difference, he would still be losing. Second thing, Jax E is insanely good against both Graves and Twitch that we have in mid lane, so we can't really help him. Then he pushes the wave once again, and here I type Kha'Zix is top, be careful. So here, he crashes the wave. So here, once again, he can literally just run away. But then he flashes straight into the Kha'Zix and dies once again. And then... yeah, for whatever reason, Rakan goes top lane, they try to 2v2. And then... once again, he gets to crash the wave. He goes for a plating.
I can't even get to. It's a horror.
And then what was that? Right? Like, he could literally just Q out, and he decides to Q out to go back in and then tower dive, right?
Entire game. Five is.
And then he goes for the tower again. He gets the tower before the Jax, but at this point it doesn't really matter because he died 7 times, right? Giving 10 kills to the Jax and the Kha'Zix, right? So they're just insanely fed, and there's nothing that I can realistically do. So here, once again, he dies to the Kha'Zix, right? There's nothing that we can do. Then he eventually gets some kills, he gets some shutdown, and that you could say is like really, really good, right? But the issue is that Jax is really, really fed, and he is really strong into our team composition. The second thing is that Kha'Zix is really fed, who has a really good matchup already, making my jungle role a lot more difficult. So there's not really anything that I can do. And after all of this, Thebausffs decides to flame the team. Not really flame, but he basically says that, oh, we're all useless and having a shit performance, and that we're not doing any damage. Well, the reason why we can't do any damage is because we are playing Twitch mid lane, who can realistically only be good from ahead, Graves jungle, who can realistically only be good from ahead, and then we have Jhin, who scales. I mean, we all kind of scale a little bit, and then we have Rakan, right? But realistically speaking, we need to not fall too far behind, or our champions will be useless. So he forces himself to be basically the carry of the game. And if we play around him, well, then he can maybe carry the game, right? Because he won't be really far behind. And if we don't play around him, he will fall really far behind and then give 10,000 kills. And the problem is I cannot do anything because I don't win 2v2 against Jax Kha'Zix as Rammus Graves, especially from behind when he already died level 1 2 times and then he died level 2. Already at that point, if I decided to come and try and help top lane, we were just going to lose 2v2. So I can do absolutely nothing. The only thing I can do is try and win through bot side. And I do that by getting the first Drake and we get 1 or 2 kills on bot side. But it's not nearly the same as what they get on top side. So I don't understand why he decides to flame and then say, oh, Graves has 10k damage. Twitch has 13k damage. Jhin has 16k damage. Yes, of course, none of us are going to have damage if you're feeding an assassin and a champion that literally ignores auto attacks when we have a triple 80 carry team composition. I should probably have dodged from the fact that we have a really shitty team composition by having a Twitch mid lane. But that doesn't change the fact that the way that Thebausffs is playing doesn't make any sense. And some of these devs are completely int. And this is not part of the inting strategy that he's known for. No, it's just completely int where it doesn't make any sense. He's just giving gold for no reason. He's not trading gold. He's not making enemy lose gold by dying. He simply just runs into an enemy and dies. And as a jungler, and probably also the mid laner and the bot laner, we can't do anything to win this game simply because the enemy team becomes so fed. I can't play aggressively. I can't do what a Graves normally would like to do because he decides to play like this and then flame. So if we go, basically has like half of the deaths at some point, right? And then here, let's see where it is. I think it's somewhere around here after like a really bad fight where he basically just goes in. And then he says that we are disgusting inters. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that he's saying. And I don't know if this is like a persona that he has on stream or if this is like legitimately how he thinks. But it's so fucking frustrating playing a game like this. Because it is just a waste of time. Like,
who's taking no with this performance? I've never seen anything like it. I haven't not seen anything like it in my life. Who's voting no if your damage per minute is like, I can't understand.
So he says that, oh, we have such little damage per minute. Well, we can have insanely high damage per minute if he doesn't die constantly, non-stop. Then I can also play aggressive. I can also play aggressive and die 10 times and have the most damage in the entire team and then say, oh, my teammates do 0 damage. Or I can go ahead and play Karthus and say, oh, my team is doing no damage, even though I'm playing a champion that literally does 2,000 damage per team fight minimum in late game, if not 3,000 or 4,000, just from pressing one button. I can't sit and flame my team by saying, oh, you guys are doing no damage. That's not how the game works. The reason why we can't do damage is because this guy fed every single champion on enemy team who is good into our team composition, and therefore we can't play the game. So I don't know if this is a persona. I hope it is, because it's honestly really, really frustrating to play with this. And I did get a report feedback at the end of the game, so I'm assuming that something happened to this guy for his account, but he simply decided to swap to a different account. So I understand that he's Challenger and he normally plays Sion, but in my situation, he played Rammus and he played like this, and he basically solo lost the game. And on top of that, then decides to blame the team's performance, blah blah blah. It's really fucking annoying.